BillBistak.com and Bill Bistak present The Gate, a novel. Prologue. The following story predicts something real, something of fantasy, and something of a hero's path toward an unexpected result. Or, none of it is of any substance until it is. Translation. Is this another boring and morose hero story? Chapter 1. Quote, come on, out from underneath who you were, or not. Winter, Saturday, 10 a.m. Dad, why's my big wheel flying through the air? Dad tinkered with the kitchen radio because the TV's scrambled screen and audio persisted. I stood with my mouth wide open, and my eyes were huge, watching a horrific scene outside the window. Before Dad, Mr. Wexler to the rest of the world, had a chance to respond, a radio station, most likely an AM station, announced, "The Weather Bureau has issued a high-level warning. This is a hurricane. In the middle of winter. Get to your basements. As fast as you can." I turned to face my sister and my mother, who were in the middle of the living room under a large comforter. We didn't have a basement. Lights flickered repeatedly, furniture shuddered and shifted over the hardwood floor. In the distance, a neighbor's dog howled and barked. I should have taken cover when the windows rocked and rattled. Instead, my nearly 4-foot-something stature nearly leapt, possibly jumped, out of my long-sleeved shirt, blue jeans, white socks, and simple shoes. Plus, my 8-year-old mind immediately remembered The Wizard of Oz and those terrible tornado scenes. Suddenly, instead of moving from east to west, a group of our toys retreated to the far fence. The back fence split open. "Billy!" yelled Dad. A strange collection of whispers echoed in my ears. But I was at least half the size of the living room away from Dad, Mom, and my sister. All of my family were under the large blanket when a loud, violent clap of thunder shook the house, unlike anything I'd ever experienced, and I dove headfirst into the blanket. No one dared laugh or even say a word. Yet I heard the distinct chuckling of fading laughter. Would we be hidden like this forever? Would we have to hide for just as long? Are we even safe? The look on my dad's face gave me zero comfort. The following springtime, Saturday, 11:45 a.m. Dad, where do you want the mulching grass clippings? Roll the barrel over there, son, behind the garage. Empty it. This should finish it up. That messy storm has nothing on us now. Took us long enough, though, didn't it? Dad ruled my life, and I loved it. His 6-foot frame, which included hard but kind facial features and short, sandy blonde hair, managed to make me his obedient son every time, willingly. He could manage anything above, around, or inside the yard and house. We bested the worst results of that storm, too, together. I nodded with a smile, gladly moving the yard garbage to the back. My mother summoned us both for lunch, and my dad threw a wink at me. We knew it was coming. When we went inside, the kitchen was plain as day, a simple 4-chair setup with a dining room table, which had one of those removable middle sections. That table commanded the kitchen space, and it was central to the culinary joys about to be had yet again. The tablecloth, which was more plastic than fabric, wrapped around the edges of the table and hung halfway down. It was enough for anyone's upper thighs to be brushed lightly before standing up, inviting a scratch or two. An odd green-blue pattern lined both sides from edge to edge. Oval placemats rested in front of each setting for eager participants to join in a common meal. The outside noises of the neighborhood flew by, including car horns and the goings-on of people outside. As we sat down, my father almost salivated over his empty plate, which would soon hold a banana, a portion of butter, and some white bread. My 9-year-old mind went nuts for a moment as I observed my dad prepare his sandwich. First, he spread a thick amount of butter on the open slices of bread. With incredible accuracy, he ran a knife down the peeled banana, lengthwise, so that 5 portions of equal thickness were now ready to be positioned on the bread like soldiers. My eyes squinted in disgust as the 2 slices of bread came together. My dad said, "You must have chips with ridges, son." With disdain, I pursed my lips up to my nose, took 2 round, thin salami slices, and slapped them down between 2 rye bread heels, and I gasped as if to correct myself. Mustard! After all, who might win this lunch competition? Undeniably determined, I wouldn't be swayed. Mom offered me ultra-thin potato chips and a bright red apple. "Now this is lunch!" I exclaimed. Dad chuckled as we each took our first taste of food. Triumph! Mom soon stepped in, wondering out loud, "Boys, are we forgetting something?" Dad and I assumed a prayerful position, our hands empty, and we uttered grace. Then we feasted like a tiny, ravenous, tiny army, returning from duty. At that moment, a burst of thunder shook the house in the middle of our furious chewing, and I partially choked. I remembered what happened in my big wheel last year. The tinkling of stacked quarter plates, dinner plates, and hanging cups drew our attention to the rattling shelves above the sinks and the stove. A split second later, lightning flared, turning my face white. Dad noticed and asked, "Son?" I looked at him, then at the window, and Dad placed his banana sandwich down in a near-religious manner and said, "Life's going to be filled with unexpected storms." I ate a potato chip partially because that's what Mom would have me do if my stomach was uneasy, and it was. Dad advised, "You can create an inner peace." However, my facial expression showed that talking would most likely make me queasy. "Okay," I murmured, still finding my intestinal balance. And Dad was right. I had to calm down. But those weird whispers, very faint, started to echo again. Do I explain this to Dad? My face flushed with warmth as my mind raced, and then I moved to the back window, staying silent. The clouds cleared, and the sun reemerged. And lo and behold, a new big wheel sat there. However, beyond that big wheel, a still broken fence stared back at me, which made me tremble. I ran to Dad and thanked him with an open hug. "You earned it, son. That backyard looks better than ever because of you, and no more storms to mess us up." But my mind remained undecided. In my head, I insisted one of those toys from a year ago was still there, and bleeding this time. I closed my eyes, chasing away my imagination, and hugged Dad tighter. But should I say something about those whispers? I exhaled deeply into our embrace, letting go of everything that was bothering me. Almost.